All right, my name's Andy Wenger. I teach eighth grade U.S. history at St. Thomas Middle School, which is down in Jefferson County, just south of St. Louis, about 25 miles south of St. Louis. And when it comes to the online learning, I think that my class that I presently run would probably um, transition into online learning rather easily. I'll give you some examples, sort of what I do in my class and my methodology, and give you some items that I think might uh, be problematic in an online learning environment. First, what you're looking at on my screen here is my Google Classrooms that I use with all my classes, including my advisory class and current events. And then you can also see down here in the bottom corner, I do a goals and data that we actually share this with my team at school. A lot of my assignments go out via the Google Classroom. So as far as being able, the students being able to work online, a lot of our work is done online. If we look here, this is just sort of an example of some stuff I do as far as guided reading that the students do for chapters. They sort of fill this out as they read each section. And then here we also have a notes, which we do sort of together as a class and go back after they've read the section and sort of, again, take notes over some of the important points. And that helps me make sure that the students are pulling the information out that I like. So that's one way. As far as like bell ringers go, I do bell ringers. A lot of my bell ringers end up coming from things like Crash Course. As you can see here on the Edpuzzle, I use those quite a bit just to introduce sort of what the next section is that we're talking about in U.S. history. So again, I think this would be a great thing to use when it comes to online learning because students watch the video. I don't have to be there to stop it to ask them questions about what's going on in the video. With Edpuzzle, I can just pose the questions with it, embed them in the video, and the students can go along and do it at their own pace. A lot of my classrooms also, in these, there's additional work that the students that are moving at a little bit faster pace can continue working on, while that gives me the opportunity to work with some students individually. This is where I see a little bit of a problem with an online class, is getting that one-on-one attention to the students without them sort of having to go on and pose a question, me answer it, maybe via an email. So I could see that really being a problem. I guess if we had a live class, which I saw on some of them, students could ask. But again, if I have students that are, struggling, I really think there would be an issue of not being able to do that face to face and see their facial expressions and see if they really are getting the concepts that I'm asking them to, or if they're just agreeing with me, with a smiley face or a thumbs up in a response. The other issue that I think we'd run into a little bit is we spend a lot of time in our school talking with the kids about behavior and how to treat others. We do a big engage curriculum with the students, and I don't know how well that would do because the students would have very limited interaction with each other, especially like physical interaction where they can see each other and see what's saying to someone how they react to what you say to them. I don't think you'd get that on an online course. Um, where we've been working with these students and trying to really develop that social interaction and explain to them that sometimes things don't come over, especially in social media as they should. So that would concern me a little bit with the students and whether or not they could really get that connection. I think as we get older, especially the college setting, with what we're doing with this class, that's really not as necessary, um, just because of the maturity level. But middle school, I really think that would be a struggle. Other things that I do with my class that I think might be a struggle is sort of group project-based items, which sort of, harkens back to what I was just talking about, where the students, they can do projects at home on their own, but they don't get that idea of working in a team setting and having the struggles of the personal contact between, where you have a student, that maybe some of the other students have to motivate to help him get the work or her get the work done that they normally wouldn't. So that would be a struggle for me because we do a lot of group stuff. We do a lot of group reading. We do a lot of discussion. Overreading, I guess if we had a Blackboard setting, or, I do some comments on Google Classroom. I don't do a lot. I prefer to do it more face-to-face in my classroom. So those are just some of the items that I think could be beneficial in an online setting and detrimental for a class like mine. Thank you very much.